Hey everyone, it's Kato, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing, again, the path, which is this famous dirt path created by denim2_Mori, a Twitter user, which I will have all of their social media down in the description below if you want to check them out, as well as their creator code. I have done a video in the past on a tutorial for how to lay this path, some tips and tricks with that, so I will also have that down in the description below. But today I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the path and show you guys how you can create your own. So this path that you're looking at right now is actually a version that I made on my own. I did use a simple guide that I found online, which I will also have linked below. But I definitely tweaked it and tried to do my best to create a version of the path that I felt like you guys would enjoy. For those of you who don't have Nintendo Online, I thought this might be helpful so you can create your own version of the path in your game if that's something you're interested in. I will tell you it's a little bit time consuming, but I hope with this guide you guys can create your own. I would also love to see any of your designs that you create, but let's just get right into this. Alright, so first things first, you're going to open up your custom designs app on your Nook phone, and you want to free up 9 slots minimum in here. I have a 10th one because I have this whole design, which is one of my favorites. It definitely helps to break up the path if you're going to have this all over your island. So you want to free up some slots. Now, if you have custom designs already downloaded, then what you're going to want to do is go in here and you're going to go to erase. Because mine are ones that I created, you click on them and then you go to change design and you go in here and this is where we're going to start. So as you can see, this is a design that I've already created. So the first thing you want to do is create your palette at the top. So if you go to your tools over here, you can click change palette and there are several different ones. You can go through and you can see how they change the color of my design. But I wanted to create my own with a bunch of different brown tones. So the first thing I did was I went through and I changed all of the colors to white, just so I would have kind of a blank palette to start with. And then I started going through and figuring out which browns I wanted to use. So I ended up using 7 different brown tones, and then over here at the very end to the right you can see I also have the transparent design. So those are the ones we ended up using, and I will show you guys. This far left is the darkest brown color, and then I just kind of move to the right. So I'm going to click through, and if you guys want to use the exact same colors that I used on my island, I'm going to click through each one, and you can screenshot the video and change the hue, vividness, and brightness to match exactly. I did spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect brown tones, and this is something you can definitely play around with. If you find a brown that you like, I recommend just going in and maybe changing the brightness 1 over or change the vividness 1 over. You can kind of play around with it, but these are the ones I'm using, so I'm going to click through and let you guys look at these. Alright, so now you've got all of your colors ready to go. The next thing you're going to do is you want to fill all. If this was a design that you were changing, you're just going to fill it all, and let's just go ahead and start with a blank slate of white here. And if this was a design that you just deleted, you're already going to start off with just a plain white slate, and that's where we're going to begin. so I'm going to show you guys how we do this. First thing you want to do, we're going to fill the whole thing. I'm going to select this fourth color over. This is my main brown color, and we're going to fill the entire thing. Then I'm going to go over here to this red brown right here. We're going to select our pen tool, and this is where you kind of just get to go crazy with it. We're just going to start speckling this throughout. No rhyme or reason at this point, just making a bunch of specks. And with this whole thing, I promise you, you just need to trust the process. I've seen some people commenting when they are trying to create their own version of this. They said that they feel like their path always turns out bland and kind of just one-dimensional, and this is the reason why. These paths that these creators use have a bunch of different pixel colors included in them. It's not very easy to tell unless you zoom in really close to them, but this is what is giving it dimension. This is what's making it look like dirt. It makes it look like a real path. So you just gotta trust the process. We're just gonna speckle this next color in here all throughout. Again, no rhyme or reason. You can kind of go crazy with it, and then you can always go back and add some more of that original dirt color. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You guys can watch me speckle through here. We're also going to use this color right next to it as well. So these three colors on the end are the ones I'm using to speckle throughout. And then I'll probably go back to this initial brown color as well, but I'm going to let you guys watch me here. Alright, so we've got this looking pretty speckled here. So we're gonna save this and we'll see what it looks like on the ground. You can always go back and modify if you feel like it's too light, if you feel like it's too red, whatever you feel like once you're done speckling your pattern here. So let's go ahead and save this. I am going to change this here. We'll probably just save it as center, and then we'll see what it looks like on the grass. Alright, so let's go and try to find a centerpiece here, if I can, or maybe I'll just plop one down right here, just so we can see what it looks like on the ground. You can zoom in with your camera. Okay, I feel like it looks a little bit too light, so I'll probably go back in and mess around with the color just a tiny bit, but overall not too bad. I promise. Trust the process. It will get there. We're gonna go back in one more time and edit it, just because this is the main piece we're using. We're gonna copy this one to make all of our other pieces, so we want it to look as close to correct as possible so we don't have to edit as much later. So we're gonna go in and do that really quick. Okay, so I'm pretty content with the way that looks. A little bit less light, just a little bit darker of a brown. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to go in here to our designs. Now in your designs, these will all be just blank designs, as opposed to mine. I've already got them all filled in. But what you're going to want to do is hit the Y button where it says swap and copy. You're going to copy that tile that you just made, and what you're going to do is you're going to select one of your blank designs, and I would kind of pay attention to which slot you're selecting. You want to do it in order. So I'm going to select this top left design here, and we're going to delete that design. And then I'm going to go in here and we're going to change it. And now we're going to work on this top left corner design. All right, so the next thing I do is I just take my pen tool. We're gonna make it into the largest pen size possible. So you just hit Y to do that. And we're gonna come over here and select our transparent pattern on the far right. And I'm just gonna kind of start deleting some of this on the top left because we are going to work on a corner here. So we're just gonna kind of do a general edge here, and then we will go in and edit it. So I'm going to show you guys how I make this piece here, and then I'm actually going to have different grids for each different design. If you guys don't want to spend the time trying to figure out the exact design you want to do, if you just want to copy the exact version that I did, I'm going to have each tile pop up on the screen with the exact colors that you need to use for the borders, and then you'll just have your speckled dots will be a little bit different. I feel like you can't really mess that up, you just speckle them throughout, but I'll show you exactly which squares I used and which colors I used, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to speed up me designing this top left corner, and then I will come back and talk some more. Alright, so here we are with the finished top left corner piece. I did want to mention that I do add some kind of larger blocks of this red-brown color. I feel like that really helps to make it look more like dirt on the island. So I did that. I also have obviously these two little holes in the dirt and this one little splotch of dirt. So these are things that you can kind of mess around with, changing the shape, changing how many of these you have. That's something that you can really play with to kind of make this your own. A lot of people also like to add little flower designs out here. This is my first time doing this, so I just kind of tried to stay fairly simple here because I didn't really know what I was doing, so I didn't want to go too fancy with this, but this is what I have right here. And as I said, I'm going to have the different designs for you guys, and I'm going to change the colors to really differentiate which ones go where. I also wanted to point out it's very important that you line up the corners, otherwise you're going to have either offset tiles, or you really have to pay attention. The middle piece is kind of finicky in certain spots, so sometimes you can't have this dark corner here or it just looks off. So those are the most important things to pay attention to when you're designing these, are the corner spots. You don't want to mess those up, so that is just something to keep in mind. But here is this, so let's go ahead and we're going to save this design. We'll save this one as top left. Alright, so I've got this one saved, and I know this one right here is a top left piece, so you can see it just fits in really nicely. You can see how all of those pixels, how we differentiated all of the colors there, how that really helps to elevate this. If you just had a completely solid pattern, it's going to look super flat on your island. So doing the pixels really helps to elevate this path. Now, the last thing I wanted to do was show you guys a template for creating this path on your own if you want to copy what I created directly, or you can copy it and then make some modifications depending on what you prefer. So I'm going to flash up here. I've got some templates for you, almost a paint by number style. The brown is very hard to differentiate, so I decided to do some bold colors here so you could see exactly what colors I was using. And then I have the guide for you on the right of the screen. If you want to pause these, copy them into your game, totally up to you. I did want to point out that in the gray sections, you will have the two other colors that I showed you at the beginning of the video, along with the red color here, dispersed throughout the gray like we showed at the beginning of the video. And all of the white sections are the transparent pattern. I hope this tutorial and guide helped you guys. I would love to see any paths that you create. Let me know in the comments if you plan on doing this on your own. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!